Hey guys, this is OracleDaphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another reading for you guys. I'm using the tarot and charms, and this is going to be on what I see for the Pluto Retrograde 2026. Okay, so Pluto is going to be retrograde for about 5 months, and I wanted to look into see what the overall picture is going to be. Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius. And those of you who want like specific degrees and dates and stuff, I can leave that in the description box or in the comments. But essentially, Pluto retrograde, I feel like it's going to affect a lot of people because for the last, I can't even remember when Pluto moved into Aquarius. I think it was at the end of last year. Since that time, Pluto in Aquarius is very fast moving. It is incredible. It's got so much speed and momentum. Essentially, the Aquarius energy has so much speed and momentum, and Pluto, is very dense. And I feel like and can be quite heavy and very transformational, and can push a lot of growth. So that's part of the reason we've seen so much growth in technology, is because of Pluto in Aquarius. But it's also about rebellion, and it's also about the people. And so I'm really interested to see what messages come through. I haven't really looked at any other influencers to see what they say about this retrograde transit and how it's going to be influential to everybody. So I'm just kind of looking at this from a clean slate, and I'm open to seeing what comes through. I do want to say, if you haven't checked out my new channel, I have a new channel, my new OracleDaphne channel 2.0. It's very exciting for me to have a second channel. I wanted to increase my reach and do more videos and feel like less maybe restricted to certain types of content, and just kind of branch out and do different things. And so I'm going to leave the link to my other channel in the comments and in the description box if you want to check it out. I already have over 30 videos on there, so it's quite a lot actually for it was like a huge gulp all at once of recording and content. So definitely check out my new channel. I'm really excited about it. So it's a lot of work too, so please, if you can donate, I appreciate it. I want to say it's a lot of work. So okay, so I'm gonna lay out the cards. I'm drinking some tea here, and I may look at the tea also, but I want to look at the cards and see what we get for this transit. This is very interesting because, we were talking about Pluto, and it's a very transformational planet. And anything it touches, it transforms. And being retrograde, I wanted to see how active that transformational element is going to be. In the charms, originally when I looked at the charms and the way they came out, I saw this energy here. And this energy is kind of shows me this kind of pause or the stop kind of energy. And we have a lot of conflict, and we have a lot of war right now. So during this 5-month period, there may be some energies of a pause, or energies of, and not just in the world, but in your personal life. Maybe there's an energy where you take a step back, or something gets delayed, or you take a time out. You're like, okay, I can't, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to push forward in a certain way. I feel like this is the things that are still going to be in play as far as the transformational element is the level of communication that you have, is what I see, because The Four of Cups to me is like a card about texting. So some of you, you might end up texting a lot during this period of time, or communicating or changing the way you communicate. For some of you, if you do text a lot, you might really be like, you know what? I don't want to talk to anybody. Do not disturb. If you have been dating, let's just say, or you know, you're interested in somebody, there might be a change or a shift in dynamics. So like if they always reach out, maybe they won't. Or if you always reach out, maybe you'll stop and they'll start, you know. So there's got to be a transformational element between the way you communicate with other people, but the way other people are also communicating with you. I don't like the pink pig here next to this other warlike energy, because to me, this is like severely intense energies that aren't healthy, okay? But because we have these two pieces that came out here, it's almost like for some of you, those of you who I was going to say have experienced maybe some kind of traumatic events or have gone through some medical issues, you might find this period of time to be kind of a reprieve or a recovery period. My guide said a recovery period for some of you. It's interesting because originally, and it can go different ways for some of you. We have the Ten of Swords here in this position, and that means, you know, there's not a hell lot of a support for some of you. Some of you are winging it, okay, or going to be winging it during this period. And the last time Pluto retrograde, I really felt paused myself. So some of you might feel very paused, okay? But I don't necessarily feel like that's the only energy at play. And I do feel like for some of you, there's this energy of maybe like, yeah, going back to that, do not disturb. Do not disturb, like, leave me alone, taking more time, needing to take more time for yourself, not necessarily wanting to engage in any kind of conflict. The pink pig is really, really like one of the hardest energies in this, in my charm bag. And I almost don't even like want to say what I see for this, but I'm going to, okay? For some, this is a complication, a medical complication. For some, this is hospitalization. For some, this is going through a procedure and it going badly. For some of you, having to do a medical procedure or having to do a procedure and not wanting to, okay? Not wanting to. This is where someone goes goes like under, you know, for like a basic surgery and doesn't wake up. The pink pig is the hardest energy because it's sort of like having to go through a really hard situation that makes you stand really, really tall and be really, really strong and be like really much like a very mature adult. Do it on your own. Nobody's there for you. Have to do it. And a lot of times it's medical stuff where you don't have somebody to pick you up after surgery. It's medical stuff which you have to do because it's if you don't do it, then it's like it's just gonna be bad. So like for some of you, this is needing to make sure that during this period of time, anything medical that you're planning to do, especially if it's elective, I actually wouldn't plan to do any elective surgery at this time. But if, let's just say, it's something that you're planning to do, that you plan out exactly how, like a backup plan for it, okay? Like, make sure that you get somebody to give you a ride. And if you can't, like, get somebody to give you a ride, then I wouldn't go, okay? There's conflicts with, like, doctors, issues with doctors, issues with medical stuff. For some of you, like, what I'm seeing here is you're not wanting to maybe see a specific doctor or go to a specific doctor. Maybe you like have to go see them for some reason. This is maybe changing providers. There's conflict around providers here. And for some of you, it's having to make some hard decisions regarding your medical plans. For some of you, you might be a caregiver, and this could be somebody that you're taking care of who has like no offspring and they don't have anybody to help, and you have to do it all. And you're this person, you know? But to me, the pink pig is more personal than that. It's personal. It's very like you want to take your stuffed animal kind of thing. It's very hard. For some of you, this is a diagnosis of some kind that's very challenging. I feel like for most of you, okay, like I don't want to be fearmonger here. For most of you, there's going to be some safeguards put in place. So either this does not happen, okay? I almost want to say like maybe you're going to do some restraining orders. Maybe you're going to do some restraining orders, or maybe you're going to call like the authorities on something. This is where I tell people, and I tell you, that you need to cover your butt and make sure that you are taking, you know, standing up for yourself and looking out for yourself and protecting yourself. Yeah. Because we have the Queen of Pentacles showing up, and this is like an authority figure, but I also see it as a masculine who's positive, okay? But I don't see him, like in this case, like this might be a person that you need to avoid. This might be a person that you're dating that you need to avoid. Anybody who has, you know, maybe not the best temper or not the best energy. This could be an earth sign masculine who does not wish you well. Yeah. There's a lot of bad here coming through some of this stuff here. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. You know, during this period of time, you may have to deal with some of this energy, and I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it because again, the pink pig is like you got to hang on to your emotional security blanket, or hang on to your stuffed animal, because you're going to have to go through something challenging, or you're going to have to face some things that are very, very hard. This is challenging energy, okay? During this period of time. And now for some of you, there's going to be a stop to it. Yeah, there's going to be a stop to it because we have the Justice card here. So someone's going to put a stop to it. We got the Page of Cups after. It's going to take a lot of effort, though, and a lot of energy, and this is going to be very draining for some of you. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're fighting, this is a legal system stuff. This could be a divorce from hell. For some of you, this is, if you're going through a divorce from hell, this is a very challenging time to do it, because Pluto is not necessarily in its finest form. It's transforming things, but internal transformation, and internal transformation generally comes through physical stuff that's painful, or going through things that are extraordinarily hard. See, in order to get an internal perspective shift, you have to go through hard things in life. And so this is where I tell you, you know, if you're doing any sports, tape up your legs, tape up your ankles. If you're doing any kind of like either water sports, any sports really at all during this time, tape up is what I want to say. Really do stretching, really do strengthening. In some way, there's no way to prepare for this kind of stuff, but you are protected no matter what. But there's conflict here. There's serious conflict here. And there's going to be peace because we have this little peace energy coming through. But again, it's sort of like that Star Trek episode where he asks his future self how they beat Khan, and he was like, at great cost. This is something that comes at great cost to you personally. Like, it's a divorce, but there's a cost to it. there's a, not just financial, but it's like a personal, emotional cost. You got to remind your spirit guides that no one can take your life. It is your life to live. You got to remind your spirit guides and the people around you that nobody has power over you. Nobody gets to have power over you. And so this is where, this is where the Aquarius rebellion comes in. This is where that Pluto Aquarius internal transformation. You might feel like there's going to be, I feel, a moment in time in which you, like we have this horse rearing up here, feel like rearing up, like really being rebellious, telling somebody to F off, giving somebody the bird, throwing something out, being like, no, I'm not going to put up with this shit. Being like really, really like, not just rebellious, because rebellious has a really weird connotation to it. Just really tough about things, like really hard. We have a lot of metal showing up in this reading. We have the sword, we have the tomahawk, we have the screw and the washer, which I didn't find together. These came separately, and I actually never tried to see if they fit together. But and we have this, which is about stopping something. You're going to receive help, and you're going to be delivered from this. And I don't know, I can't give you a time period on it, but this energy is going to inspire you. Some of you, your feathers are going to get really ruffled during this time. We have the sun card here and all these feathers you can see in the image. There we go. All these feathers. So someone's going to ruffle your feathers, but you just might be a little bit like emotionally disgruntled, out of sorts. Your feathers might be really ruffled during this period of time. Aquarius represents the people, and this is where the majority get pissed off. This is where you have things to be pissed off about. It's so interesting. I've been really, I want to say, ticked off about the things that I've been seeing in the news. And generally, I don't even really watch the news, but it's just like really rubbing me the wrong way. Like it's reminding me of a period of time, during the pandemic in which, I went to the store and I bought some beans and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, this costs too much. It costs way too much. And I was like, it's a bad sign. Okay, so this is a time in which, this is also interesting. You're not going to be able to see some of the red flags here. You're not going to be able to see necessarily where you're going, because Aquarius is very farsighted, but with the Pluto being retrograded, for some reason, you're not able to see as far as maybe you might. And you might not be able to plan as far as you probably could or should normally. So you're going to have to really rely on your intuition during this time. You're going to really have to be like, okay, how does this make me feel? Should I be doing this? Ask your spirit guides. If your spirit guides confirm something, you get goosebumps on something, you feel very strongly you should. That is how you know what to do and how to proceed forward. There's going to be a lot of chaos during this time. This next 5 months, I feel like, is very chaotic with this transit. Okay, very chaotic. You will be delivered, but at some cost. And transformation happens, with jobs, with housing, with relationships, and we don't see how things transform or how we're going to grow until later. So like in 5 months time, you're going to be able to see, like how your life was transformed by this Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. I feel like some family members are going to be transformed by this. Friends are going to be transformed by this. Like I want you to write down like who is your family at this time and who are your friends at this time. And in 5 months, it's going to all be different. It's going to be changed. I'm not saying for everybody, obviously, like family for a lot is the same, but there's going to be changes and shifts within your tribe, within the people that are close to you. And I say that because it's this Aquarius energy. This is your tribe. For some of you, you're going to have a really colorful tribe in 5 months. Like your tribe is going to include people that maybe you would not have associated as being that close to you. The people that you let close to you is going to change, I see as well. So again, we have more conflict. You're going to need to make sure you're coming back down into your body during this time. Coming back down, focusing on the material, okay? For some of you, you're going to really struggle materially during this time. And I say that because, you know, we have these chunky pieces and there's like this, it's like a pause. Although there is a chunky piece down here. It's not everyone, and I don't want everybody to freak out, but it's just like there's going to be strain on money at this time. And I feel like there's certain areas that are going to, some people are going to do very well during this time, but I also feel like there's going to be a strain on money. I feel like you're going to be gifted money for some of you. And the material, there's going to be need to be more focus on your material well-being and a lot more thought of, you know, where you're putting your money and what you're doing with your money. There's going to be a lot of shifts within the, you know, with cash, I want to say shifts with cash. They might really try during this period of time to roll out like you're in a universal basic income or something like that. That's going to be on the table. Okay. Things that affect all of the people. Okay, transformative elements that affect a lot of people during this time. So I want to say that the war energies are going to affect a lot of people during this time. And the energy of conflict. Now, here's the interesting thing about conflict is that we don't see how we're affected by it until like it leaves our life. So for a lot of people, that fight energy, that conflict energy, you don't see how draining it is until it's gone. I want you guys to really work on drinking lavender tea and taking nervine herbs and tinctures during this time and getting more rest, deeply rest, take time to rest and step away from this conflict energy if you have it in your life. For many, this is indirect contact with, it's sort of like we're all indirectly affected by the war energies and energies that are toxic. So I have to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys all the best. You know, I may continue another part in this, but for right now, this is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.